We've been building on these vehicles for the last 6 months, initially for Alaska.
Well, this trip originally began as an expedition from Middle Tennessee to Alaska and back.
You know, with our team, we would go from Nashville to the Canada-USA border.
A 8,000-mile journey, spend a week there, and travel back home.
We were having meetings and planning Alaska.
The coronavirus.
Coronavirus emergency. The deadly coronavirus.
COVID-19.
COVID-19. Co for corona, vi for virus.
Coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
putting immense pressure on hospitals.
This virus makes it to a weaker health system. It will create havoc.
Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic.
COVID-19 is an iceberg. The base of that iceberg is economic devastation, lives lost due to suicide, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, fabric of society tearing.
It's only a matter of time before the country shuts the door entirely to international travellers. Shutting down the borders will slow the spread.
Federal government revealed plans yesterday to shut down the U.S.-Canada border to non-essential travel to help slow the spread of the virus.
That begs the question, has coronavirus always been used for political ends?
We say stay at home and save lives.
In total, more than 84 million Americans are now under state directives to stay home.
The great shutdown of 2020 is underway.
Of course, COVID hit, changed everything. Border crossings became more difficult and everything logistically became quite a challenge. So we had to sort of switch gears and make a plan that was a little bit more attainable this year.
It kind of hurt to make the decision to not go to Alaska because it's really pretty up there. It's some of the most amazing scenery I've ever, seen in my life. But I think overall as a team, we made the smart decision to stay in the lower 48.
So the ultimate goal is Alaska, and we will get there, but this smaller expedition is a great opportunity for us to work out a lot of the kinks that we're developing as a new team and having freshly built vehicles.
So what we decided was to go to Colorado instead and hit a lot of the spots there and kind of have that be a first trip for our group and our team.
Engineer Pass, Cinnamon Pass, Black Bear, all the typical big name trails that none of us on this expedition have had a chance to do yet, but we've always wanted to. So we're going to check out Colorado in that area, Silverton, Ouray, and those areas for a little bit, and then we're going to head over to Moab, and we're going to spend about a week in Moab and hit all those areas up there, which once again is new to all of us there. So it should be a good time.
So we are at Nashville Cars and Coffee here in Franklin, Tennessee, and we are 2 days out from the start of our journey. But Nick from Overland Nashville reached out to us and said, hey, do you want to come bring the Overland rigs to Cars and Coffee? And this is mostly just classic cars, newer cars, older cars. But we thought, hey, let's bring a little Overland flavor to the show here. So a bunch of us have brought our rigs. We see a few sprinkled about the area. Anyways, this was a good goal for us to come out here, get our vehicles ready, and then just come to talk to other cool car enthusiasts. So, super pumped that the trip is right around the corner, and this is exciting.
The update is working our tails off this weekend to try and get this thing good. So it's running. It's no longer overheating, so that's good. What else did we do? We got the transmission linkage hooked up, the shifter modified to work with the GM transmission. We got obviously the new bead locks on, so those are pretty rad. We got new radius arm bushings pushed into the front suspension. We got new tie rod ends installed, and then we got the Sherpa Equipment Max Trex mounts up there on the roof rack, the diodynamic lighting. We got the windows tinted, of course, because that's important during the summer. The other last thing, I guess I can't do that before now. The other last thing that we need is I need to know how much fuel I have left in the tank. And so I have to integrate the factory fuel level sender with the Holley Terminator X display. Once I do that, and hit the road, we'll be off on our trip. And I'm stoked.
There, I can actually start strapping stuff down now that cut the bolts, fixed the bottom of the tent. I can start organizing. It's gonna be a good time.
Well, it's come down to the wire. As we push through the night to finish prepping some of the vehicles, mostly Albert's Land Cruiser, it just so happens the Nolansville fireworks show is just across the street, and a well-deserved break to celebrate is just what we needed. After all, it is Independence Day.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Enjoy that.
Cheers to a send-off.
To a send-off.
So it's about 5:50 a.m. and we are on our way. Today's the day we're leaving, so should be, today's not a super long day, just a 6-hour drive, but it's still early. And I only got about 3 hours of sleep last night, and so did some of the other guys. So today's gonna be, or at least this morning is gonna be a little rough. Still haven't had my morning coffee, but yeah, I'm getting all packed up, and we're gonna go meet everybody at Jacob's house and hopefully get out of here by 8 a.m. So that's the plan, but we'll see what happens.
We're waiting on a few people. We were slow getting here, but Steve was even slower. So while we're doing that, on the way here with all the weight, I noticed that I was rubbing a little bit on my pinch weld, which I had not taken care of yet. So I'm doing that right quick.
We had a little bit of things to do. Make sure the radios are working properly, communication's good, making sure all the GoPros are set, good to go, and everybody's on the same page. So we're just gonna have a quick meeting, prayer, and then hit the road. We got 6 hours to Arkansas, so.
In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, and the plan, let's remember. It's like finally go time.
Rally rats on 3. 1, 2, 3, rally rats!
With some work left to finish on the Land Cruiser, Albert decides to meet us in Arkansas later in the day. He really should only be like a few hours behind. After months of planning, we finally depart on the journey west.
Steve, or any of y'all got any updates on the traffic through Memphis? A different route. Mine's still showing to the north, and then the bridge just south of the one that's out.
What's your miles to that point?
No idea.
So Siri doesn't tell you like how many miles, like how do you navigate with that?
It tells me how many miles till I get to Little Rock. I don't have it. It doesn't tell me how far away that bridge is.
So like it doesn't say 61 miles till your exit? No.
Interesting. Hold on. Let me pull. You're just using the map that comes with the phone, right?
Well, the reason it's not telling me that because it's evidently not an exit. The next exit it's wanting me to get off is at 61 miles.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Actually, you know what? That's it. So we got 60 miles till that detour.
Alright, sir, is your map right side up, sir?
Well, I think so. We are headed eastbound, correct?
Sure. Does anybody else want to take point?
We're about to enter our first state on the journey west. Welcome to Arkansas.
Well, we're here in the Ozark National Forest. We have 2 campsites that we plotted or picked out last week, a few days ago. And Jacob thinks he might have found one last night that might be like way cooler. So we're gonna go check it out first. We are all very ready to be off the hardball and onto some trails. Actually get off and go overlanding.
So the locals say that about 3-4 miles from here it drops down into the creek and there should be some spots to pull over.
No fishing. Yeah, the pond's right there. We'll go back out, take a left, go all the way back out, and then head over to campsite 1 that we marked. Hopefully it's not the same thing.
Trying to get to the pre-planned sites, gates. Everything's been kind of closed or what have you. There's not been a good way around, so I just got to use the latrine. I feel much better. You guys just had a meeting? No? Okay. I guess we're gonna discuss things.
Jacob has an idea.
Alright, well I'm gonna go hear his idea. Let's do it. Let's go hear Jacob's idea. Jacob.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? So 11.27 miles from here is right on the Buffalo River, a place called Carver. We got boat ramp, looks like they've got some camping and some space there, so we'll go check that out.
We can just camp right here.
Technically it's a parking lot, but
They're gonna get like, I don't think there's anybody.
There's nobody in there. The problem is, I mean, when the Rangers come by and check it out, they're gonna run us off at 5 o'clock in the morning.
After a strenuous first day on the road and navigating through dead ends, we finally find a nice little place to set up camp, sizzle some meats, crack a cold one, enjoy our time around the fire, and finally get some much needed rest.
We got to camp pretty late last night. Pulled in here, found this nice little spot, secluded. It's just absolutely beautiful back here. So had a really good night's sleep.
Yesterday was a really long day, and as was the day before, and so tonight's sleep was just perfect. But we had sausage and eggs for breakfast, and now we're packing up and getting back on the road.
Day 2, westward adventure with Mill Creek, Rally Rats. 10:47. It's a nice slow morning, so fixing to hit the road, make our way west, back across the Ozarks, find another camp spot, chill out, hopefully get some adventures today, and link up with Albert and his crew. So, good day.
Aren't we his crew?
Yeah, the rest of his crew. His family.
Yeah. Good job, Eric. So I think everyone's pretty much packed up, ready to go. There's a few things with my setup that I wanted to change around after yesterday. We didn't do anything crazy technical, but a bunch of stuff shifted down even though I had it tied down. So I'm gonna figure out a different way to tie some of these things down. And then, so I'm carrying 2 spare CV axles, and obviously, you know, these things are pretty massive, and I have them in the factory box just to kind of protect them. But those take up a lot of room, and yesterday they were sitting right here and I had them strapped down, but even a lot of those bumps and stuff shifted things around, and you know, when we're going downhill and stepping on my brakes, those things like made their way up towards the front seat, and yeah, it was basically a missile pointed in my head. So took care of that situation, and now I'm just left with a couple of these things. This is super lightweight. This is just our softbox, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But everything else is basically rearranged. We'll hit the trails today, do some actual technical wheeling, and see if anything else shifts. But they're making some minor tweaks and changes as well. You know, we had parts that we had ordered weeks ago that finally came in literally the last days we were leaving, so decided to just install some of that stuff on the trail. And yeah, so kind of like this light bar that Charles has, he has yet to install it, and it's a brand new Diode Dynamics 30-inch light bar, so we'll put that on at some point. But for now, it can be a missile towards my head.
And we'll just make our way west, find a camp spot over on the west end for tonight, and get set up.
And then if we got some time, we can go back out and do a little more exploring.
Roger that.
All right, I'm just gonna loop around through here.
With our late start and the plan to search for some serious wheeling, the day has turned into a Sunday stroll on a Tuesday afternoon. Fortunately, some locals point us in the direction of Alum Cove Natural Bridge for some good old-fashioned sightseeing. So we just kind of broke off for lunch a little bit. Haven't had too much technical wheeling. A lot of stuff has been closed and gates have been closed. But Jacob found kind of this cool little waterfall spot, so we're gonna hike down there, and hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to wheel a little bit, but if not, that's okay, because we're coming back through the Ozarks on our way home in a couple of weeks, so maybe we can actually get some difficult wheeling in. So
we're making a short hike down to see these natural bridges. There's a stump there. We're gonna check out a cave, a waterfall, and some shelter coves. I think we've seen this on YouTube a couple times, so it'd be kind of cool to check it out in person with our own eyes.
Ah yes, the Ozark National Forest. It really is a beautiful place with much to explore.
one day certainly doesn't do this incredible area of Arkansas justice. We could literally spend an entire trip dedicated to its exploration. Unfortunately, tonight's camp location is yet to be decided in the daylight. Well, it's slowly fading away. You also might be thinking, where is Albert and that pesky Land Cruiser of his?
Hey, I've got some voicemails from Albert, but I can't check them because I'm trying to navigate. Somebody mind just giving him a call and checking in?
Yeah, I'll shoot him a call real quick. Hey, what's up?
Hey!
What's going on?
What's going on?
We're pushing west through the Ozarks.
Okay. How far is the second campsite?
We don't know yet.
Okay, is this the link that you sent me earlier?
One sec. Jacob, the link you sent earlier, that was for the campsite we just left, right?
Yeah, that was for the last campsite, yeah.
That was last night, Albert. We'll send you a new one here soon.
Okay, I'm gonna start headed that way.
All right, we'll see you tonight, and as soon as we have a new location, we'll send that to you.
Thanks, bye.
All right, bye.
As much as we love to get as far away from society as possible when camping, sometimes an organized campground will do just fine. With the kiddos' tummies rumbling and the sound of a crackling fire calling, our destination for the night has become top priority.
So we're here at night 2. We just found a great campsite down near a river, and this is great. We have nice level surface here for all the vehicles, and we're gonna set up camp. Albert is on his way. He'll be here about 11:30 at night, and we'll make sure we have a spot for him to pull in, but it's gonna be good.
I gotta get the max tracks out, bro.
So it's about 6 a.m. We're getting a pretty early start today, simply because we have a 12-hour drive, so we need to be out of here by 8. So everybody's up, rolling around, scrambling to make coffee and breakfast. Oh, Albert rolled in at like 1 a.m. last night, so we'll see how he does today, but that's probably going to be a struggle. Oh, a leaf in my oatmeal. Nice.
We made it. How was it? It was something. It was late. We rolled in at about 2:30 in the morning.
What time did you guys leave?
What time did we leave? Man, everything is such a blur from yesterday. It's hard to say. I think we left it around, like, just a little afternoon.
Yeah.
Did good. It did good. For being a fresh build with 60 miles on it, and then just jumping in the truck and trying to drive across the country. It did great. Didn't overheat or anything like that. The AC was ice cold. Had a little issue with the shifter, but nothing that we couldn't solve on the road. Yeah, it's cool. It's something. It's big. I didn't realize how big of a thing I was building.
Yeah. All right, so day 3. This is our big push today, right? We got 637 miles straight to Colorado. So welcome, Albert, Odie, and family.
Today will be the longest day on the road, covering about 600 miles across 4 states with a 7,000-foot elevation gain. This will also be the longest stretch the youngest members of the group have spent in a vehicle. It can be very difficult traveling with young children. But experiences like these will help build a strong family, and hopefully, they'll remember this journey for many years to come.
I got a terrible noise coming from the front of my truck. I'm gonna have to pull over somewhere up here and check it out. Hey, Charles, do y'all mind just driving up here next to me, looking at the front driver's side? Sounds like maybe just the fender liners come loose and it's hitting the tire. Can you pull up here and take a look? Yeah, sure. Come alongside. It looks like it's coming loose. Looks like it's just dropped down, and we need to secure it better. You should be good until the next stop, though. Alright, 10-4, thanks. I'll get off at the next exit. It should be an easy fix.
Apparently he lost some tabs or whatever, and the fender liner peeled back and was rubbing the crap out of his tire. So we made a small change to the itinerary for today. We went ahead and stopped early, fueled up, get the kids watered, adults fed, and get back on the road.
And on top of my brisket sandwich, I got T-bone. Locally grown, locally sourced, of course. Then I got some pecan smoked chicken breast. Dinner for the next 2 nights. And then, of course, some Fritos, barbecue twist.
The team has definitely gained a lot of experience over the years dealing with vehicle situations on a trail. That's a given when you build out an off-road rig and push it to its absolute limits. But little did we know, we were about to encounter some serious issues just driving on the pavement.
We're just outside of Oklahoma City into Texas about, and I'm following Albert, and there's a bunch of white smoke that just came out of his exhaust as we were throttling up this hill. So we decided to pull over. We're gonna take a look at it and see what's going on. He has no idea what his fuel levels are, so we're hoping maybe he just was out of fuel because we have no idea. We're kind of gauging it off my 4Runner because I get the worst gas mileage, so I was at like quarter of a tank, so I don't know. We'll see what he has to say.
Coolant temps are great, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about the transmission temp because it's like the one thing that I can't monitor. You know, with them saying that it was smoky on downshifts. Possible culprit. Transmission in that?
So we stopped off at Napa. We're getting a thermal gun, and he's gonna check it and see if the transmission's overheating. But
after sitting here resting for a minute, we're at 213, but you know, we were just at the gas station for what, 20 minutes? So I wouldn't be surprised if it was pretty elevated. We'll see, man. We'll see. You never know with new parts. I didn't build the transmission, so it kind of sucks sometimes putting your faith in other people's stuff. But maybe that isn't it. Maybe it was something else. We'll see. Maybe it was just overfilled and puking a little bit of fluid. We'll keep driving, check the temperatures. We'll find out soon enough.
Let's get back on the road. We're almost to Amarillo. Amarillo is just up the road, I promise. Just a little ways.
Building out 4x4s is a never-ending cycle. One thing goes wrong, so you deal with it, then a whole other set of problems arise, especially with a fresh LS swap.
Oh, the joys. Good stuff. There's your problem.
shortly after we left Napa, probably 20-30 miles down the road, we had to pull off. Albert was having some elevated cooling temperatures, or more like hot temperatures, but looks like his fuses keep blowing on the fans, so he's taking a look now, and
we're checking it out. So we're slowly moving along, but hopefully, you know, with our technician here, they'll be able to figure out everything that's going on. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
I don't know if these little relays are not keeping up or what, but we keep popping fuses for my fan circuits. Both of those fans, they pull a bunch of amperage, but that wiring harness kit should be designed to handle that much power.
And that's all I got to say about that.
As long as I can keep the fans running, the engine will stay cool and we don't run into these issues. It's whenever the temps get up, everything snowballs. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna keep moving. Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, back on the road.
Challenges and frustrations on expeditions are going to exist. That's just the nature of the beast. You never really know when or how, but something will always come up. Your mindset is the best way to mitigate a tough day turning worse. So with an epic Texas sunset on the horizon, we can't resist but to pull off one last time before driving into the night. With that kind of view and a crew like this, the journey and adventures that lie ahead make these long days on the road all worth it.
Getting back on it. Headed Walsenburg, Colorado. That's where we're trying to get to this evening.
One fan run, it isn't enough. We need. Oh.
My engine temps are a little bit high here.
So we made it to Great Sand Dune National Park.
We are just outside of Golden, Colorado. These long pulls up the mountain, it's really harsh on the transmission with all the weight.
Although we don't like the decision, we've made the decision not to take the rest of the vehicles.
We're managing, slowly but surely, we're getting by, and we'll get there. We'll get there.